customer service, done right, can be your company's single biggest competitive advantage. Welcome to the Customer Service Revolution. Join customer service authority and best-selling author John DiJulius as he interviews leaders who are revolutionizing their industries. This is more than a podcast, though. It's a movement. The Customer Service Revolution is a radical overthrow of conventional business mentality designed to transform what customers and employees experience. If you're a revolutionary customer service leader who's ready to stop competing on price and obsessed with building a brand that people cannot live without, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Customer Service Revolution podcast with John DiJulius. This week, John discusses how companies can build a culture employees will love. In this episode, you'll learn the DiJulius Group's leadership mission, how to prioritize employees' mental health, how to drive employee engagement, how to build a culture moat, and how the great resignation is a great opportunity. Now here's your host, John DiJulius.
Build the culture employees love. You know where it starts? You want your employees to love the culture, love where they work, who they work for. You got to love them first. And if you're uncomfortable with that four-letter word, you're never going to accomplish it. I love, 3 companies. I love all my employees that I know. Okay, John Roberts has like 150. I don't know them all, but the ones I do. And I think people think I say this line, but if someone says, oh, I get my hair cut by Kaylee, I'm like, oh my God, I love Kaylee. She's like the most awesome. Or if they say, I go to Ash, oh my God, I love Ashley. I really do. I just can't believe how hard they work, the commitment they give to us, what they come and do every day. I love Nicole. I mean, Nicole is a freaking rock star. I love everyone on my team. Even more than that, a lot of times I like their spouses more than them. I love them, but Jess will be up here. Her husband, Ryan, love him. He is my cornhole partner and we're undefeated. Dave Murray, his wife is here, Tracy. Tracy is awesome. She's hilarious. Advanced Financial, you guys think Murray's funny? Tracy blows him away. Okay, this true story. Called Dave up a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I said, Dave, we're thinking about having a cookout. Do you guys want to come over? He goes, sounds good. Tracy's out of town, but I can. I'm like, maybe another time. Tracy's the entertainment. All right, so here is our leadership mission that we say to our employees when we hire them in and continuously. And we're putting it out there. This is what we want. We want you to make more money than you ever thought possible. However, we want you to feel that the money you made was the least valuable thing you received from this company. That's a big statement. How do you back it up? We want you to make more money than you ever thought possible. However, we want, at the end of your career, that the money you made was the least valuable thing you got. So I'm going to share how. And again, these are what best companies focusing on world-class internal culture do. Our clients, Advanced Financial and Image First and Anytime Fitness and Tire. These are what they do. And these are what you can do. Today, we have to prioritize the mental health of our employees. Of ourself first. Managers are burned out. All right? We can't expect them to be there for employees if we're not taking care of them. 50% of employees have cited stress and burnout in the last 12 months. 1/5 adults suffer from anxiety and depression. And that number goes up to 1/3 with ages 30 and younger. And it actually went up higher yesterday because of Facebook and Instagram. So where do we start? We got to have compassion and empathy. believe our employees, don't think they're trying to game us. And really check in. Address burnout, starting with ourselves and our leaders. This is important. We probably have to bring an outside resource for this, but train leaders ourselves and our leaders, your GMs at your locations, restaurants, banks, wherever, department heads, how to recognize when someone might be struggling and how to help them. Not become therapists, but, what resources maybe the company or, they should. Here's another one that's important. Train employees how to recognize this at home. Enforce vacation time usage instead of payouts. Don't let people do that. I would actually make it mandatory that you forfeit your vacation if you don't utilize it. People need literally their time off. Another good one I don't have up here that is important for work from home is mark a clear end to their work day. You all know this if you're working from home. We're actually working more now. Not because of the dueling jobs, right? But, we're working till 11 o'clock. And the tough thing about this that I had found personally, I bet you it applies to a lot of people, pre-pandemic, and now I'm back to traveling again. But when I'd come home from the airport or the office, I'd have a buffer time to unwind, listen to sports talk radio, call a buddy and laugh. And then I'd come in and, change my hat to significant other and dad. Well, now, what's our buffer time? Opening up the office door and stepping in the kitchen. And we're still wired from all the shit we've been dealing with. For those that work from home. And when I say work from home, all this applies to the office too, for most of these examples. But have a time. I do not want to receive emails or see emails or Slack or whatever your community after a certain time. Something that I had to do differently. I interviewed Chuck Runyon on a podcast, Anytime Fitness founder. They have like 10,000 employees that have tattoos. Listen to the podcast if you want to talk about great cultures. But something he told me, so I have this policy or whatever you want to call it with my team. I do a lot of my work on Saturdays and Sundays, catch-up work. I enjoy it because I'm not dealing with, day-to-day stuff. And I send out 1 million Slack messages. And I tell them, do not respond. I do not want you working on the weekends. And they were all, okay. But Chuck told me in the podcast, he goes, that's still, they see it. And it's building up. And you're ruining their Sunday night. While some may check it, but others may not check it, but they see they got like 42 Slacks and they're dreading going to work tomorrow morning. And I was like, damn it. So we use Slack for internal. I didn't realize this, but there's a thing that instead of send, you can, it defaults, and I'm sure you can change this, Monday at 9. So I'm still creating, the to-dos or the questions or all that on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, but they don't receive them until Monday. So that's just a little thing that's helped me with this. Okay. Best practices for positive attitude. So this is where I can help, and I try to help my employees. Someone on your team might be very good at this. So teaching them how not to be in a roller coaster. Suggesting the best apps for sleep and stress reduction. Yoga and I thought I said medication. That too. Yoga, meditation, and good medication. Again, you might be able to negotiate with a local vendor. They can get on virtually or do this, but everyone on your staff can get a special price. You're just avoiding. This is a big one. Teach your employees and yourself, remind yourself to avoid doom scrolling. You know what doom scrolling is? Someone tell me. What's doom scrolling? Come on up. Oh, Barbara. Oh, I love Barbara. She's one of my favorite human beings ever. Class of 2017. An awesome CXO. Dallas, Texas. So what Barbara said is we all do this. Scrolling headline news. And we might not even click on it, but it's like, oh my God, it's getting worse. The Delta, everything's divisive right now. Whether you're a vaccinator or anti-vaccinator or like the current, who's in office and who's not. I mean, there's so many, and we're getting sucked into it. And all of a sudden we can waste an hour, 90 minutes at one time in bed or as soon as we get up. And what do we feel like? The world sucks. We have to turn that off. We have to teach our employees not to be doing that. And also there's black hole conversations that we all get into, right? We see 15 people today, talk to my friend, my neighbor, my significant other, my clients. How you doing? Bad question. Because everyone's going to talk about those things. We have an urge to talk. Oh, tell me about it. It's done to my business. Or, can't believe. Instead of asking someone how they're doing, tell me something good. Starts off on a good conversation. We stay there. Your customers will never be any happier than your employees. So we got to drive employee engagement. A big thing I forget, is show career paths. Tell them the rags to riches story. Tell a hairdresser who just started that, Heather started just like you. And she was kind of a crappy assistant, young and mature. Couldn't get her on the floor. Today, she charges $130 for a haircut in Cleveland. Right, which is crazy. Average haircut in Cleveland is $30 for a woman. $130, and her first opening is like 6 weeks, right? Tell them the rags are. Eric was a front desk, booked appointments. Today, he's a managing partner of John Roberts. He has equity. Tell Denise, she started off as an esthetician in the spa. Went up. Today, she is a managing partner of the DiJulius Group. Don't assume they know. She has ownership in the DiJulius Group. But they, see themselves as this is a temporary transitional job. I'm going to be a teller. I'm going to be, whatever, cashier, customer service rep. Let them know where Jay started and where he is today. Recognize. Find ways to catch people doing something right. And it doesn't have to be major. Nothing else, you came to work. You've come to work every day on time and you give it your all. Promote a director of fun. Doesn't have to be their only position, but you got people on your staff who would love this. Jess is going to talk about this and a lot of this in more detail. Be more aggressive with team outings and activities where it's safe. And listen, one of the top things that you're doing right now, professional development. Send people away or online, virtually, master classes, to conferences, because you will go home tonight. It's out tonight, tomorrow, fired up. And those of you that are with someone, team members, that's the best because you're talking about on break, you're talking about dinner, you probably talk about on the plane ride home. So here's the thing. Make it, teams that do it, not just one person, and make them present. So whoever you sent, whoever you had attend, make them come back and present it within the next 2 weeks to the rest of the team that wasn't there. I know some of you hate me right now. Otherwise, that notebook gets thrown in a trunk, on a shelf, in a drawer, and you open it and say, oh, remember that? No. I invested in you. You invested in your team. And the investment is way more than a ticket, flight, away from your family, away from your work. Now you got to come back and figure out how that applies to our business and share it with us.
Hi, this is Denise Thompson, managing partner of the DiJulius Group. We know it can be difficult getting the whole team as excited as you are about customer experience. You talk to them, write newsletters, and it seems to go in one ear and out the other. Sometimes it's the message, sometimes it's the messenger, sometimes it's just a tough crowd. Consider bringing John in to speak live at your next company or association event. He'll have them laughing, crying, cheering, and most importantly, understanding how to become world-class. Visit johndijulius.com for details or to book your date now.
Companies with the highest employee engagement, 81% lower absenteeism, 33% lower, less turnover, 10% increase in customer loyalty, 23% more profitable. Stop trying to find great employees. Instead, focus on becoming the type of business great employees find. If you ever do employee surveys, now's the time. And we had to, too. We do it annually, maybe annually. You got to do it quarterly now. You got to do it quarterly. And that's the second worst thing you could do, is not doing it quarterly. What's the worst? Not acting on it. Who said that? Asking your employees for feedback and not doing anything about it. They won't do the next one. So you change things, you address things. So they're like, wow, I'm heard. They've made it better. Guess what happens the next time they get that thing? They will be honest, they will answer, or they'll tell you you're killing it. But we hold each leader, their engagement, score. That they are taking care of this. All right, you got to build a culture moat to insulate, protect your top performers from leaving. How do you do that? Number one is stop policing and start leading. Stop treating our employees like children and worried just because one did something. Don't penalize everyone. Fear kills creativity and innovation. Bunch of policy means I have to hide behind the policy because management made me, and I say, sorry, and I'm not taking care of the customer or my employees. Encourage risk-taking. Celebrate risk-taking. Celebrate failures. Celebrate failures.
One of my jobs as the leader of Amazon is to encourage people to be bold. And people love to focus on things that aren't yet working. And that's good. It's human nature. That kind of divine discontent can be very helpful. But you really, it's incredibly hard to get people to take bold bets. And you need to encourage that. And if you're going to take bold bets, they're going to be experiments. And if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time whether they're going to work. Experiments are, by their very nature, prone to failure. But big successes, a few big successes, compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work.
Pretty smart guy. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, the wealthiest human being in the world. The second wealthiest is his ex-wife. I love what Tom Peters says. I would rather reward spectacular failures than mediocre accomplishments. Build a culture moat. 63% of employees who are recognized regularly said they are not looking for a new job. So make a system for your leaders to catch people doing something right. We have a system, I hate saying it in front of my employees here, that every leader in all my companies has to submit a report of all the employees that report under them, whatever the terminology is, and the last time they caught them doing something right. We get to see that. And Eric might say to someone, you haven't caught so-and-so in 6 weeks, 3 months. Again, they come to work every day. They bring it. It doesn't have to be finding the woman in the parking lot ready to give birth, right? It's just the day-to-day jobs. I prefer it to be those things that we're recognizing. All right, provide resources. This is a really important. Remember I said you got to build a culture that employees love? That's just not about making them better performers, because yes, there is a hidden agenda, right? It helps the company, helps the bottom line. How about things that help their personal lives, the quality of their lives, their family? So when I say provide resources, I'm not saying, now, some people on your team may be rock stars and they could teach it. And most of the things I'm going to share, we've done, and we bring in, either virtually or in, outside experts, and we never have to pay them because they all love the opportunity to speak to our teams, because you got 150 plus employees, 3 brands, and it's a lead gen for them, but our employees learn about it, right? Goal setting. It doesn't have to be for everyone. It could be who needs this. Personal time management, that's a big one. Help people cure procrastination. I don't know if there's any self-proclaimed procrastinators, but I don't know, there's not too many things that will add more anxiety to when you have things building up, whether, you're doing it to yourself or you're just getting hammered right now. So help them. Like, this is something I love. I geek out about this. I love to teach people. I love to teach my employees. I love to tell anybody about my to-do list. I ask the DiJulius Group, Dave and Jess, and hey, have I told you about my to-do? When I don't think they're, getting enough done, or they're saying they forgot. So have I told you about my to-do? They're like, yes, you've told us. No, let me show you again. If anybody wants to be bored, ask me on break. I'll tell you about my to-do list. Right? So whoever is good at that, or bring in someone. Living a healthier lifestyle. Right? There's so many people that are experts that can come in, drop in, Zoom, whatever that may be. How to purchase your first home. Once a year, we bring in a mortgage lender and teach our employees, and they'll get their information ahead of time. Okay? The employees that want it, how much you make, and whatever they need. And then they come in and they give you a report based on your income. You can buy a house up to, and you'll need this much for a down payment. In 2019, we had over 30 employees buy their first home. Right? That's so gratifying. Thank you. But you know what else? That 26-year-old has to come to work tomorrow. So there is a hidden agenda there. Financial planning and budgeting. Parenting for people who want it. We all need it. Stronger significant other relationships. Offer book clubs on different of these topics. Our friend Arnie Mulham, who's from Nashville, spoke here twice, wrote a book, Worth Doing Wrong, one of the greatest authors on internal cultures, built and sold his company. He offers his new companies better book clubs. Anytime Fitness uses them. And you don't get the books from them, but it tracks, and they reward their employees for reading, and it doesn't have to be a business book. They may have suggestions on the books, but think about all these topics I just said, and you could say, hey, we're having a parenting book club, and here's the book we recommend, and anyone that wants it, read it, and, you guys set up, your own weekly, monthly call to talk. Stronger relationships, time management. You're just providing your employees these resources, and they are so appreciative of it. Listen, the great resignation for all of us in this room, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't revolutionaries, is a great opportunity for us, not the people outside and all of us in virtual. Great opportunity for us that are attending this conference because you care, because you want to create a customer service revolution, a radical overthrow of conventional business mentality designed to change what employees and customers experience. It's a great opportunity. Why? Because there's more talent out there than ever before who are looking for organizations that truly care, not just about productivity and bottom line. You're going to attract them. And now we aren't tied to geographic boundaries, that you have to live in Northeast Ohio to work for us. The whole U.S. or the whole globe is our talent pool.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and are ready to think about starting your own customer service revolution. To get inspired by more episodes, subscribe now on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening and for being part of the customer service revolution.